Welcome back to TRT World. Our top story this hour. Congressional leaders have failed to reach an agreement with President Trump to end the government shutdown. About 800,000 workers have not been paid for 2 weeks because of the closure of parts of the government. President Trump says he won't approve any budget measures unless they include funding for the border wall with Mexico that he promised during his election campaign. And he's warned that the shutdown could last indefinitely. Well, for more on this, we have Robert Wasinger, who joins us in the studio. He's a policy advisor at America First Policies, and Daniel Lippman, who also joins us in the studio. He's a journalist with Politico and the author of Politico Playback. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My first question is to you, Robert. If Trump can't reach a deal with Republicans, should he bypass Congress to get the wall done?
Oh, well, he put it on the table today. I think, just to correct it, it's Democrats that he's now negotiating with on the wall. The Republicans are in line. So we'll see. He put it on the table today. I think he will do it. He's shown his ability to, work around Congress to achieve his objectives. I don't see why he wouldn't do it. It makes sense to me.
But is it really a negotiation at this point with the Democrats if he chooses to go around Congress?
Well, I think he'll give Congress time to do their work. Now, look, the Democrats are asking for $12 billion in foreign aid. He's asking for $5 billion for the wall. It's a national security measure. I think he'll give him time to work it out, and then I think he'll go his own way and make sure he fulfills the promises he made during the campaign.
Do you agree that it should last indefinitely until they can reach some sort of an agreement?
I think it should last as long as it takes to get to where we need to be, which is to secure our border. The wall is a part of securing the border, and yes, if it lasts months, years, I think that's fine.
Daniel Lippman, you obviously cover a lot of politics in Washington. Tell us about who the men and women are who have been affected by this shutdown.
So there's 800,000 federal workers who have been getting impacted, and hundreds of thousands are actually still on the job. They are essential employees, and they will continue on the job, dedicated to keeping our country safe. TSA. Making sure that people can still fly, and there's people in the White House who are essential. If you're a press wrangler, you have to be there to help in the job. But there are others who are furloughed. They are not making any money. They're kind of sitting on their hands at home. Some of them, they're actually emailing and calling me saying that I'm not able to pay my bills, and why can't people reach a negotiated solution? A lot of them are against the wall. Most of them are Democrats. That's what President Trump has pointed out himself. And the majority of Americans actually are opposed to the wall, 56%, according to a Harris poll. And so that kind of probably 100% of federal workers are against the shutdown.
Robert, we've heard a lot of stories about people who are struggling to pay their mortgages, who don't know how they're going to be able to make ends meet. A woman in Detroit who also happens to be a veteran who's saying she can't pay her medical bills. If you are for a prolonged shutdown, what do you say to the federal workers who are caught in the middle of this political gridlock?
Well, first of all, I'm not for a prolonged shutdown. I'm for whatever it takes to get the objectives achieved. And keep in mind, the shutdown's not as bad or as ominous as everybody says. 2/3 of government spending is mandatory. So Social Security checks are still going out. Medicare benefits are still getting paid. We're talking about 1/3 of the government, which is discretionary spending, and then only just 20% of that. So it's not like government is totally shut down. Government's still operational. These agencies that haven't been funded, though, has to be resolved in some way. So I think the president hopes, I think Republicans and Democrats hope that some deal can be worked out. And it doesn't have to last forever. But I think the president has made it clear what he wants out of the deal. And I see no reason why he would want to give in on that.
Daniel, why do you think we can't reach a deal right now between Democrats and Republicans?
Well, President Trump, he views this as an existential issue, that if he is seen as caving on the wall, then his conservative base that supported him in 2016 will abandon him in 2020, when it's going to be a very tough race for him, facing a potentially serious Democratic opponent. And plus, you have a lot of moderates and independents that voted for Trump in 2016 because they didn't like Hillary Clinton, and they may not do so again because of the divisive nature of his presidency. And so he has to keep his base in line especially also if there's impeachment proceedings. You're already having some of House Democrats talk about that last night. That he needs those conservative Republicans in the Senate and House to fight against that.
Really quick, do you think that this is an issue that is make or break for the president, and that's why we're seeing him take a hardline stance on this?
No, I don't think it's make or break. I think he made a promise and he's fulfilling the promise. I think what it shows is that the Democrats just aren't serious about border security. Democrats are not serious about protecting our borders and protecting our interests. So I think that's what it shows. I think the president wants to negotiate and get to a deal, and we'll see what happens.
Robert Wasinger, Daniel Lippman, thank you both for being with us. I wish we had more time,
Thank you.
but we have to pivot to some other news. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks.